Alright, so hello everyone, welcome to the stream. I'll continue along with the modeling process of this illustration. I'll partway through Kisaki's motions right now. I just started staring at this before starting, like, man, I made her halo real small. The good thing is that that could be easily fixed, given that, at least for this, I literally just need to go. Alright, now the halo is not too small. Okay, anyways, we're partway through the head motion here. We basically want to keep the motion basically just within this range. For the whole thing. Probably use a default that's a little bit up. Oh yeah, I haven't fixed the cover meshes. I think there's something else I have to fix as well, but I should just really make it listable that. Regardless, we're going to continue with parts that need to. Where's the braid? I need to move with this. How much does her braid actually pull up? I feel like I should just stretch the this section and then keep the butterfly and everything below that in place. Because I want to basically have it in a controlled state where nothing needs to swing around each other and any other parameters, ideally. So, which this part? Okay. We're going to just create a bit for the top of the braid. Did I create a super parameter for these? I did, right? We are actually going to stretch this one as one piece, regardless of how did the other ones. We're gonna go ahead and just make sure that we kind of just yank this up and along with her head. But we're just gonna pull ideally on some of the parts around here. Can I just yank this part and just let me just make a snapshot here, just yank. So this pulls up, and I think I want this to pull up slightly without pulling this up completely. That's kind of the way we want to do it. So just like a very subtle kind of motion overall. I don't need to pull this right side, the right front side back a little bit. That is a little bit folded over the top, or folding outwards right now. But that is effectively all we want to do with the hair. Just, or at least for the actual head. Everything else should either move the whole body or it should move the whole body. Alright, so if we take both her torso and her head, can we make her do like a little effective flinch is what I'm thinking, like kind of like reflex motion, because this will basically be in response to, you know, being sprayed by water. If I want to do that, I should be able to do torso, head, make like a I should do this last though, because it just becomes annoying if I make a bunch of deformers and they're all like weirdly shaped. So I should align this with her body overall to make it easier to work with. Okay, we'll miss that later. Is there anything else in particular I need to mess with here? Alright, so we have mouth type number 2, which I was thinking of using when she's effectively being sprayed with water. We're gonna have to do like a snap swap with the opacity parameter here to just switch between them. So like 1 frame change out. Fun bit with this is that these lines aren't very long, they're also one piece. Maybe I should have snipped this line off here. Most of the time where I need to do a different eye so that it's a more comical kind of like eye squeeze effectively. Also, this can go a little bit this way. Somewhere around there. But, anyway, we want to make a parameter. Bit of a weird name for it, but it'll do. So we want to basically go this is gonna need more of a thicker mesh here, because this currently doesn't bend because there's literally 2 points forming straight lines on the line, so we'll just go ahead. Reckon I could get away with just 5 points on one side, or do... Yeah, there's no way that's gonna work. Let's just make it so that it definitely has the capacity to flex. This might be a little overkill, but I need it to flex, so we want to basically pull into the middle here, so let's just see what that is doing here. That's closer to what I need. Actually, that might be workable. Alright, just turn that off for a bit. Don't want to turn the water off for a bit again. It's just kind of like floating in the air. Alright, next. Do we want to do the hair, the idle part with the hair now? I feel like if I make a big torso deformer and then reshape it to fit her orientation, then that's gonna cause problems with me later. Yeah, let's do that now. Alright, I'm gonna go through basically just all of our hair parts and add a physics layer. Doing this in a separate deformer just to make it a little bit easier to manage, just like usual. Oh right, the droplet. Also mess with some of the droplets, especially the bits that are hanging off a piece, rather than the bits that are very much just kind of on the body. They'll also significantly less visible. In terms of the bits here, I think we're just going to shake all the bits that can shake. To an extent. We're gonna go with a in-out motion based on general vertical motion. Because basically it's going to be just taking the water to the face, maybe like head lifts really quickly, and we'll have the hair like bounce off the head and then land back on, and then while breathing it will also be the same motion. I don't know if that explanation made any sense, but I'm gonna roll with it. In terms of the braid, how much does this need to be separated? Because basically it needs to lift like right here under the butterfly, I think. And the butterfly itself needs to like slightly lift, maybe tilt a little bit as her chest heaves. Well, not like heaves, but like, you know, breathe out, breathe in. Break. I just do the top in one, although I need to do the whole brain in one, because it's basically just one huge chunk that's going to lift and drop, right? Okay, so for the butterfly, we basically have these bottom piece because we want to create the 3D effects. How does this need to move? Basically, it'll be what? A lift to the side, right? If her chest is like pushing up when she's breathing in. Should this pull up at all if her head jerks? Ideally, I want this to be a heavy bit that doesn't move. Which just causes problems if it doesn't move. Alright, okay, so. We just call it bounce, why not? Alright, we'll do the usual, we'll just separate this into... Although, should I separate the folders as well? Yeah, that might be a good idea, actually. How many layers, or how many parameters do I need per part? Actually, not that many. It's just, what, front, side, and... Well, it'd be like 4 sections, right? Yeah, 4 sections. Do I need to separate that further, though, to break it up a bit? Probably not, actually. Do I need this in 2? what I just pressed. That's the texture atlas. Let's turn that off. I reflected it, so let's turn that off. Make sure I know what I pressed. That's always a start. Alright, we're gonna duplicate. Duplicate. Replicate, replicate, replicate. What piece are you? You are the side piece. You're down here. All you need to be 2 by 2. So I'm gonna do a pretty big motion for this, but realistically speaking, we're gonna use like probably this for like the breathing at most, like around here. But this is like if she needs to do a big jump in the hit motion. Ba, 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 ba. Bum, ba, ba, bum, ba, bum. Ba, ba, bum, ba, ba, bum. Hmm. Ba, ba, bum, ba, bum, ba, ba, bum. Hmm. Ba, 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 bum. Ba, ba, bum, ba, ba, bum. Hum. Hmm. Ba, 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 bum. Ba, 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 bum, ba, ba, bum. Hmm. Hmm. This is like the side piece, so Okay, so alongside this, I'm also going to add a extra parameter here for bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Do I need to interpolate this? Was it just because of the center point here? Hmm. Hmm. Let's just see how that is going to sit nicely or not. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. I'll just do it like that for now. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, I could just swing that around, right? Bum, 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 bum. Ba, 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 bum. Ba, 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 bum. Up, up, bum, bum, bum. Moving a fair amount, but hopefully that doesn't cause any problems. My shadow piece isn't very big. That might become a problem. Oh, that's gonna cause a problem. Okay, I'm gonna just force that for a bit. It doesn't look very good like that, but... Because unfortunately my shadow doesn't stretch very far. Actually, I can just take the shadow and just stretch this out, can't I? Because technically it just needs to clip... Where's the ear? Ear, give me this. Grab that, go back to the shadow. We're going to clip it onto the ear specifically, and I'm just going to stretch this so that's just longer. So now we'll stretch the whole way across. Beautiful. Let's see, front pieces. And then the two loose pieces on the sides, we'll give that into the front. Bum. And these spec pieces really cause a problem sometimes. Maybe I should have done these pieces together. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Hum, 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 hum. Oh, there, how you doing? Let's pull here. Hey, welcome to the stream. Going through some hair physics. Up, 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 bum, bum, bum. Oh, wait. I'll just go over that for now. Alright, where's the loose piece here? Alright, so for these, I think we'll just use these on a single pendulum. How do we want to actually do this? Actually, you and you are just gonna reshape the formers for these. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Up, 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 bum, 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 bum. Ba-ba-bum. Hum hum hum. Maybe I just this. Okay, let's not do this like this. Okay, I don't need this. Whoop. Okay, the shadow probably needs to separate from the piece of hair there, since the shadow needs to actually like close in. Bum. Alright, what do we want to do with this? Probably don't want to do a double bump here. I think here, the bump should actually be on the butterfly itself. Hum hum hum. Hum ba 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 bum. I don't want to do this part. The top and the bottom actually need to be separate, don't they? Just a single bounce. Hmm. 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 This is less. What kind of motion would actually come here? Hold up. We just go like whop like that. Hmm. If we do a pull like this, then hum. Hmm. Hmm. So we want these things to be solid, so we're just gonna. Hmm. Bum. Hmm. Hmm. Ba-bum. Ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-ba-bum. Hmm. Hmm. Should there even be a motion associated with pulling up towards the head? I feel like if I'm going to do it that, then this should actually be 1, 2, 3, 4, just like do this all together. Now I want to keep this still. I want to keep this exactly on this part of the shoulder, so probably better just not do anything here. Ba-bum. Yeah, I don't think we'll use the full brush in there. Ba-bum. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. Hmm. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. I think I should leave it like that for now. I don't really know what to do with the pod until everything's moving together to see what happens. Hmm. I think there's a better way to do the droplets. Because they aren't... I reduced the mesh on those by quite a bit, so it just doesn't really wiggle all that much. Alright, you know what, let's just miss the bits I actually know what I'm doing. Oh wait, I'm not lifting these at all, am I? Bum, bum. Okay, these bits need to move for this, so... Hum, 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 hum. Yeah, just something like that for now. Alright, what do I want to do with the back here? I think I just tapping in the keyboard and doing anything, so I think we're okay. Why even need the second one? The second one, how much does it affect this? Okay, it affects it somewhat. Oh, there you doing. Left, pull. Alright, let's go with that. Ba-bum. Ba-bum. Just do like that for now. Now we'll give a little bit of motion to the braid at the end here. I think I kind of have to. Well, actually, let me just rip this off, reshape this. Navigate this. This includes the shadow, so I do need to be a little careful with this. do a little bit into there to see if I mean, that's probably not going to help. The shadow's also being pulled around, so I probably don't use this one. Or can I make it so that only the ends move a little bit? Look, I think that should be good enough for me to go into torso head. Breathing. And we are gonna be a little bit wild with the former here. And reshape it a little bit to suit the needs here. Yeah, sure, go with that. You know, add more parts, but that will probably just need to do another session of missing Wolf and adding up bits. Okay, so I did actually think about the problem of why this is like one of those. They're not really traffic cones. They're like those little half cone things that they still use those, or they only use those down here. But we had these for like PE where or FZ where it was like a little rubber cone shape without the top, like a hole was like right around here, and they used those instead of like tall cones so that us as stupid kids didn't kick them over if they needed to create a track. Kind of what that looks like right now. I did actually think about it, and I have realized why it looks like that. It is purely because the mesh is only a center point here, so there's a bunch of straight lines forming this shape. So I might actually go through and remake this again at some point. Just at least have to think about like why that was a thing while looking at it. Alright, either way, I'm gonna go over to here. Grab a whole bunch of shadows. There should be another bit of here yet. Oh, I didn't move her halo. Halo. The halo should move a little bit with the head nod, so we'll do that. Once again, we kind of want to keep this like very flat. This is intentionally a square right now, so we're just gonna go ahead and do this. The mesh is literally a square, just to make sure that it behaves like so. Let's see. Let's go face. Where am I? Oh, hold up. Back it up. Not head shape. Everything else, though. And we'll just stick a halo into the former two. Okay, let's mess with the face first. Where's the eyes? Okay, do that. Alrighty, let's go lash open. Alright, what color should we go with here? Should probably just use green here, right? Let's grab the color from like here. What do we want to do here? Do the eyes need to be separated? Probably not. Oh, that's not too difficult to separate, so just go with that for now. We'll go to -10 here. This would be easier to look at if I'm looking at the eye white and not the iris sticking out of the eye white. Give me a moment. Yeah, that helps. It's good for the outside too, so I'm looking at this more equally. Okay, that makes more sense. Felt like I was moving way too far here. Go about there, right? Yeah, it feels okay. Alright, didn't we miss with the side piece here. Gonna reduce the amount of bits here. Should be about there, right? I think. Looks about right. Okay. We're just gonna literally rip open this part. Yeah, that works. So what? These pieces, I think? Somewhere around there? Doesn't know to bind the ones that don't... Did that bind? I don't know, but... I am selective reversing on what to bind. What do you mean? It's like here, right? What? Oh wait, did I... Oh, I selected the wrong thing, that's why. Selected the wrong mesh when I did that. Okay, bind that. About there. Highlight. White. Highlight. Flip. Good enough. Oh, do I need to move the eyeballs? Pretty much have shaped them in a way where it's not too difficult to move them, so have a think about that as well. Whatever. Then we grab you. Bum. Where's the skin details here? Oh. Bum. Alright, you. Can I lift this in a somewhat nice way? Is that a thing I can do? That's definitely a little wobbly. I don't know why that mission's default, but that mission's definitely not default right now. Okay, then okay, we'll just sit with that for a bit. Where's the mouth? There should be the mouth now. Hmm. Okay. bit of a dual mouth form here. Alright, let's see how well this line behaves. Stretching the line too much. How about I'm going to bring this in? Don't have to follow the guide exactly, so we'll just bring this in so that the lines aren't stretching out as much. Hum. Even with like, even with that long of a line, there's definitely an issue when it had to bend this much. Should I actually just compress the vertices here? Yeah, this line's kind of messed up, isn't it? There's like hard bending right now. I can barely see the line itself, which is also a problem. Like literally just the last point just like bending out on its own. What's the best way to deal with this? Probably better if I just pull this back in. And just yank this upright. That doesn't count as the same problem, but... Don't know if I actually needed like a straighter line to begin with. Also, I need to change the default, so we're just gonna turn off the default lock for a bit and just bring this in a bit. Really nice if I could see more of what was happening here, but... Alright, where are those particles? It's out of the way. Can't see. Like the other problem with not just doing like a base mouth. Okay, I need to rethink how to do the how to deal with the mouth line, because there's just times where it just doesn't behave the way it needed to. So I just need a thicker line, because right now I'm using a really thin line. If I use a thicker baseline, or do I just make the mouth parts really big by default? or just align really big by default, but actually keep it at the shape that I need instead. Would that be better? But that makes the cover a little awkward to work with as well, because the cover needs to stick to the line that is the mouth because of how simplified the mouth is in anime style. Okay, this is bothering me, so I'm going to I'm just going to sit down and have a think about this because I need a solution to this. But regardless, I think the motion should be okay for now, but I'm going to go through and I'm probably going to fix up the mouthpieces before starting stream next time. I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. Or if I'm going to experiment and do a couple of parts and just see how it feels. I'm going to have to redo the mouth anyway, purely based on the fact that the lines will be well, the lines will be different and the covers will be different, so I do need to reshape it to make sure everything still covers correctly. As much as I can technically reduce the size of the mouth inside, I do just clip the tongue to it to maintain the I could do that, can't I? I could literally just... I wonder if I can actually clip the mouth inside to the lip. Have that pull in and out between the two lines. Will that work? And then just have a... Just the tongue will just clip onto the mouth inside, so you won't see the tongue unless the is rendering on top of the mouth inside. Well, that's another thing to think about. But we'll finish up here, so that at the very least I'm not just dealing with these not very good pieces, because we won't be able to go forward with these pieces at this point. They're causing too many problems to really warrant me going forward with them. So anyway, thank you very much for watching today's session of live 2D modeling. I'll get some parts ready for next time and then we'll go from there. If those parts don't work, then we'll work on the parts again during next stream, but I do need to have a think about this. Because last time the problem was that I used default parts based on the illustration and then I had to stretch the parts or stretch the lines further and it didn't look ridiculous. This time I just used some very long straight lines as a base and it's not really working. It might actually be because the line's too thin, because there's not that many pixels for the program to work with, honestly. As much as the preview here is also halved, so that might be causing a problem. But either way, if you want to see more of this, or be subscribed or follow, depending on where you're watching from, leave a like because it helps me out, and see you again next time.